Joel Beeke says this about Reformed preaching, and I'll expand it into more Reformed preaching and Reformed worship. Reformed preaching ministers to the whole man. It's comprehensive, biblical, doctrinal, experiential, and practical. End quote. You see, what Dr. Beeke is saying is that Reformed preaching, and really the entirety of the Reformed worship service, is not compartmental, but rather ministers to the whole man so that the man may live whole every day of their life. Reformed worship is not merely a Sunday thing, but an everyday Christian life that climaxes each week as we gather together to worship the Triune God as one church. Also, it is biblical. It's always rooted in the Scriptures, God's inerrant, infallible, and sufficient Word. In being biblical, Reformed preaching and worship is doctrinal. Reformed preaching and worship services teach sound doctrine in all that they do, from the music to the prayers to the preaching, to all of it. Neutral teaching does not exist, church. Teaching is either in line with God's Word and therefore sound, or it is against God, and therefore unsound. Lastly, Reformed preaching and worship of God is experiential. It reaches the heart, which biblically is really the mind, and it flows to the extremities of the body. The preached word has real, practical effects for every hour of every day, from washing dishes to the job you do, to gathering as a church, to driving your car, all of it. All of it.